It's Saturday, December 7th, 2024. And what a beautiful day it is. It's actually not very sunny, but it's 3 degrees C. It's well above freezing temperature. It's kind of funny, the people down south are complaining it's so cold, and it's colder than it is up here. South Carolina is colder than it is here. And it was colder last night than it was here too. Forecast high, I think, was 3 today, which is what it is. And forecast low for tonight is only -3. So enough about the weather. Today's project really is not going to take very long, but it's one of those things that has to be stretched out for a few days. I'm going to start to paint this cabinet. So I've got it up here on my table, and I've got my foundation backing masked off here. The tape doesn't stick very well to the wax foundation, but such as it is, that is my punishment for being such a bonehead to put that foundation in there. Boy, it sure would have been a lot easier had I not put it in there until I painted the thing. So if you're wondering why you're not seeing all of the gory details of this project, is because that's by design, because I'm wanting to make a longer, more in-depth video on this build, something that's outside the scope of a vlog. Don't forget that this is a vlog. It's just a quick touch base on things I'm doing, and I know often it gets a lot more in-depth than that. But in this case, I'm breaking this up. This is going to be at least a 3-part project, and I'll bring those videos out as I get them completed and edited. So that's why, I'm not going into all the detail on the vlog as far as what's going on here. Update on the bee barn. The bee barn is actually staying cool. It's 4.5 degrees in there. Fan is running. So that's really nice that since it's only 3 outside and it's not sunny, then it's keeping up. Which I kind of wish it wasn't, because that means I'd have a lot more healthy live bees in there. So it's a balance, right? I'll have to check in with Ian to see how he's making out with his refrigeration, because his temperatures today were supposed to be a lot higher than my temperatures. And so he'll have his refrigeration cranked up today and probably tomorrow as well. So that's the update on that. And other than that, there's really not a whole lot going on around here. I've been doing a few deliveries. Had to go to the packer yesterday, and got a big delivery to make tomorrow as well. So anyway, that's what I'll leave you with today, and thanks for watching. Take care and have fun. It's Monday, December 9, 2024. Winter has arrived. I was just out shoveling the deck and the walks, and there's still lots of snow could be cleared yet. We don't have tons and tons of snow, but it's been blowing a lot, so we get a lot of pretty good snow drifts here at the house. So winter has arrived. Doug sends me updates almost every day, and it sounds like he's way worse off than I am, so I still feel pretty good about the whole situation. I was in town yesterday. I went for 2 reasons, and that was my store was getting pretty low on honey, very low, and so I took a nice order of honey in there and stocked the shelf for them since it was Sunday. And also I picked up another quart of yellow paint for the shelf, because I could see that I was going to run out. I wouldn't have any spare to do extra coats, etc. It's working out pretty good though. It's looking nice. This masking doesn't really stay on here very well, but that's my punishment, right? So I just brought my coffee out to do a quick coat of paint on this shelf. If I get a coat now and I time it right, I can probably do 3 coats today. But what's going to happen here is I think I'm done painting here. I'll roll it right over so this side is down, and then I can paint the other side and paint the shelves. The shelves are going to take a long time and a lot of effort. I bought myself a small roller pad to do the shelves inside. So hang up my jacket and get to work. It's Tuesday, December 11, 2024, and we have snow. It's the 11th of December. It's also minus 11 degrees out here. A little bit of snow falling still, but there's no wind that's really perceptible. So I thought it was a good time for me to come out and catch up on the apiary. There's really not much to see, but you can see the hives are getting a little bit of snow on them, not enough to really make a big difference. It looks like this one lid is a little bit off center. It's not such a huge deal. I guess the worst can happen is if it goes too far off center and you get snow in there, then that snow could melt on a warm day and get down there. But the wood chips are very absorbent, so that's pretty unlikely. So, yeah, this is what it is. It's not much going on. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but there's snow drifts banked up here a little bit. Can sort of see the depth of my tracks, and I'm not even going all the way to the ground when I'm walking. Yeah, I just wanted to see what was going on. The wind has been from the north east northeast, which is coming from this direction across here. So what's happened here is when the wind hits the box, the snow precipitates out of the wind, and you can see how far from the boxes that the snow lands. That just it'll get to the box eventually, but then as the wind comes through between the boxes, there's a bit of a drift in between, but as the wind makes its way around the box, it keeps the snow from hitting the ground. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about the other day. The only thing I could do, I think, is come here and take these that have no quilt box, they're dead. But take that off, take these two panels off, and then pull that off, screw those two panels right to this box, because this side of that live one really has no insulation besides the 2 7/8 wood box sides, but it has a wind block, of course, but a few bees made their way out. So there's not much to see. Just thought I'd check on things and bring you along. So my fingers are getting cold holding the camera. I fell down on the ice again this morning. I gotta stop doing that. This was a header this time instead of a backwards one like you may have seen last year. Went down on my left knee, so I'll know tomorrow how that feels. It feels okay now, but it takes a while. to feel the full extent, so you kind of get an idea of the depth of the snow here. It's not too much yet, but I had the truck going, so I thought I would just drive out. It does pretty good in the snow, 4-wheel drive, etc. Yeah, so that's what's going on so far. I really got nothing else going on today because I finished painting that shelf, and so today, I think today is gonna be, I don't know, a bunch of little things, and maybe, you look like a Sasquatch here, and maybe sit inside, do some business on the computer, which we know means scrolling Facebook, right? I gotta get in the honey house. Now I should shovel the path, but I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way and just muscle through here. You can't tell how deep that is, it's about 2 feet. I guess it's not 2 feet, 18 inches tops. Now, just before I turned the camera on, the exhaust fan shut off. So it's nice to see that there's enough heat being created in here to make that necessary. At minus 11, typically minus 10 is about my break even in here for ventilation or heating. That color correction is pretty cool. I'm always surprised how well it corrects the color. Sometimes it doesn't. Oh well, and it looks a lot brighter in here than it really is. It's not very bright. Oh well, back out in the snow. I just got a package from FedEx, which is really great, because at this time Canada Post is on strike. I actually had a package on the way here by Pure Later, and so it got all the way from Toronto to Winnipeg, and Pure Later then handed it off to the post office. Brilliant. Post office is on strike, so now my package is sitting in Winnipeg in some Canada Post warehouse. But so I had this FedEx guy come here, and I was in the house, and he made no attempt to, get my attention or anything, and maybe he was a little too embarrassed to, because he sure made a mess of my yard. Let me show you what he did. So on the camera it's hard to see, but my driveway comes in here, and then the parking area is here, and there's a big space here where my pickup truck is not parked currently. But the guy drives in here. He drives in here, over here, and then he noses up this far. Could have gone just about anywhere here. Anybody can see that there's clear ground. So he took about 10 minutes back and forth here, because he backed himself down off the part where I've been obviously driving, off the driveway into the grass. And there's a little bit of a drop here. He's obviously got a 2-wheel drive van, and so he spent a lot of time back and forth here. You can see he kept changing direction. He was almost out a couple times, and then he changed direction, and then he was stuck again. So he sure made a mess here. I don't know that he's probably dug a bit of a hole in my grass here and here. You can see the dirt on the snow. But anyway, that's unfortunate that has to happen. It just takes a little bit of common sense, I think. There's not that much snow here. And again, drive in and go right up into here to turn around. But that's what happened. They sure don't want to talk to anybody when they come. I think talking to a customer is just a real waste of their time. because they not only don't try to alert anybody in the house, it really seems like they try to get in here, get the package dropped and get out. So you don't have to talk to anybody and waste your time. And I get it. The guys are under the gun to get these deliveries done, and the penalties are harsh. And there's snow and the roads are not that good right now. But that's just a fact. They don't want to talk to you, and they'll leave a door hanger that says, "Oh, sorry you weren't home." You could be standing right there, and they say, "Oh, sorry you weren't home. I didn't see you." So it's just one of those funny things. So I'm taking it easy today. I ran out of paint. Painting is done because I ran out of paint again. But oh well, I guess I could wash up my painting supplies. I'll take those in the house to wash them up. So that's how my day is going. It's Friday, December 13, 2024. And there's really not much happening around here. This week, it went pretty fast. But I've been driving a lot, actually. I've been to Winnipeg a couple of times. I just went today to the packer to pick up the honey that I delivered there last week. You can see the shelf is still here. Monday, I think, is my day to drive that out to get the kids to paint it. And I think I'll give them a little donation of some kind to, because they got to pay for their paints to do their artwork and whatnot. So I'll see what they need. Give them something for their time and their materials. So yeah, I don't know if they can get it painted next week, because that's the last full week before Christmas, and then you know what happens, right? Everything kind of slows to a crawl. We've been going through a postal strike here in Canada for the last month. I think we're 26, 27 days now with no postal service. And it looks like it might be coming to an end pretty soon. I read an article today that said that the government is going to tell that union to get back to work. And I'm not going to voice an opinion on that, because these people depend on what their union negotiations yield, and things have to be resolved. But I'm happy that things might get back to normal. Post office, they got to be careful that they don't stay out of work long enough for us to figure out that we don't need them. You got to be careful about that. Leave us hanging long enough and we'll figure out a way to do it without you. That's kind of the way it works in a free market system. It's been cold. Yeah, it's been a fairly nice fall and early winter, but about 3 days ago here, it got cold. 2 nights ago, it was minus 34 C here. And I can't help but feel for my bees that are outside, but that's what it is, and it's not unusual. Bees survive that when they're wrapped up properly, etc. So it's been really cold, and today wasn't quite as cold. Still pretty cold, but minus 16, minus 19. And so tolerable, not real windy, but still don't want to spend too much time out there. Sunday is going to be warm, and so Sunday is my snow clearing day. I got to get the backhoe even off the tractor yet. I haven't taken that off. Find the snowblower, put that on, put the bucket on, go and clear some snow. One thing I spent some time doing this week, and I'm glad I had some downtime, because this is the kind of job that gets put off and never gets done. I had a situation where I needed to make a change of my website, and I know not everybody knows all the gory details of what goes on behind a website, but you need to buy a domain name, and that domain name you need to buy from a registrar. So you need to go through a company. There's hundreds of them that sell these domain names. And I was unhappy with the registrar I had, so I changed my domain names over. I've got about a dozen of them or so. And, they'll cost you $15, $20, $30 a year, depending on what kind of a domain name it is. So I did that. I moved all those over there. And then you also then need to have a host for the actual website. The domain name is just something you purchase, or you purchase every year to register it, and then you have to associate that with a website. So now you have to work with a web host to get some space in the cloud to have a website and put up the information you want. I don't put up very complicated websites. Like my website that I need to have for my business just has, maybe a dozen pages, telling a little bit about company, a little bit how we do business, just a page that shows products. You can't order things on there because I don't ship, so there's pointless for me to take orders online. So anyway, one of the things I did was I had to dig deep down into my 25, 30 years ago of IT business and write my website from scratch pretty much. And so digging right down into HTML coding and stuff like the old days. And it was kind of fun. I had to learn a lot of stuff over again. But once you kind of learn it, it's, you did know it. So it comes right back real fast once you kind of relearn it. And so I muddled through that, and then I had to muddle through pointing my email, because I had to change all the hosts for my email stuff. And so I had to change all my business email so it still worked. And so that's always a little bit of a hit and miss. One of the difficulties, I'll go into this, is that when you make changes to where your website is or how your email works or something, you have to change what's called DNS, a domain name service. And it doesn't change right away. You have to make a change, and then you could have to wait for 24 to 48 hours for it to actually propagate through the internet so that it works properly again. So that's one of the problems. You make a change and you think, well, I think I did that right, but I can't test it. So you have to wait for a day or two. It quite often, works in a number of hours. But sometimes you're sitting there wondering why it doesn't work, and you just have to wait for a day or so. So that was a lot of fun, and I'm glad I got to do that. I'm glad I had the time to do that, because it's going to save me a lot of money getting over to a new registrar and a new web host. Then after it was all done and working, then I went through a little exercise for SEO. It's search engine optimization, it's called. So just to kind of massage your web pages so that they make sense to the search engines like Google, so that when somebody types in, want local honey or raw honey or honey, in a certain area or whatever, that Google will actually suggest your website. So there's a whole process called SEO to do that. And so it was kind of an interesting learning curve on that. I had never really dug into SEO very much on my websites, but so we got all that done, and I think it is as complex and as in-depth as it needs to be, because again, I don't sell things on my website. I just it's just, here, phone me or send me an email. It really is what it is, and that works for me and it works for my customers, because again, I don't ship things. Honey's too heavy to ship. It's not worth it. So we just do local deliveries and stores and stuff like that. Anyway, so I just thought I'd throw that in there. That's one of the things that was going on this week. So this is a weekly vlog, so I thought I'd tell you about it. I really appreciate you spending your time watching my channel. I really, I don't take that for granted. And, I do appreciate you watching. And I hope you're staying warm. It wasn't warm out there today. And have a great weekend. Take care and have fun.